Hi guys, this is Madhvi from TaroticallySpeaking.com, and as you may have guessed, today I'm going to do a little bit of a review flip through of the DruidCraft tarot deck. And you must be wondering why I have two decks over here, and the reason is actually pretty simple. This is the deck I acquired, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, back when I got into tarot. I also ordered a whole bunch of decks from Amazon. This was I used to live in India back then, and it wasn't, we didn't have Amazon India back in the day, and I had to order from Amazon America, and all the decks were shipped from the US to India. So this was way back when, and it came in this really big box and comes with this big and came with this big book as well. And of course I didn't keep the box, or but I kept the book and the deck, obviously. But as you can see, these cards are really big, and when I was just starting out, it was hard for me to shuffle them. But of course I loved the card imagery, and but just because it was really big to shuffle, I played with it as best as I could back in the day, and I put it aside. Then recently I came to know that if this deck was also available in a smaller box. Again, same size cards. So but then I also had a very interesting conversation with a friend of mine, and that's how this deck happened. So I'm going to talk a little bit about it. But just so you know, this smaller box comes with a smaller book. Okay. So before we really dive into the beautiful cards, let's just very quickly go over the books. So this is the big book that comes with the big deck. I mean, the bigger box, that if you end up buying that box. And this book is about 192 pages long, and it has a whole lot of stuff. And obviously, you must have seen from the name DruidCraft, the theme of the deck, the imagery of the deck is based in Wicca and Druidry. So it's kind of, it says over here, the meeting of Wicca and Druidry in DruidCraft. So it's where this whole, the theme sort of melds the two, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous images. The deck has been created by names. I'm bad with names. Right. The deck has been created by Philip and Stephanie Carr-Gom and illustrated by Will Worthington. The same Will Worthington, I believe, who also illustrated the Wildwood Tarot and the Steampunk Tarot, also, if I remember correctly. Anyhow, so great. The illustrations are amazing. The art is actually the big reason why I was drawn to this deck back in the day, and of course the theme, because I was very intrigued, right? And the story that runs through the imagery here, it does have a Rider-Waite theme to it, surely, but this is the story of Ceridwen and Telesin. I hope I pronounced that right. I'm really bad with this pronunciation. Sometimes the names are very hard to say. So this book has that story for you, right? And then it just brings that out. We also go through something called the meeting of the inner and outer world, the cycle of the seasons, and the mystery of time. It's like the whole wheel of the year has been charted with the cards. It's very interesting, and for a beginner, like when I was a beginner, this was like, wow, this was eye-opening for me. Even all these, the pentacles, and all of this court cards. This book is really good, just really good. This was gold, right? And then we begin, of course, with the meanings of the cards, right? And we start with the court cards, and all the princesses together. These are the pages traditionally, and the princes, which are the knights, then the queens, and then the kings. Okay, then we go to the aces, right? We go through the pip cards, we go through the aces and the twos and so on and so forth, all the way to the 10. And once that is done, that's when we begin the major arcana journey. I quite like this approach. Of late, whenever I used to teach initially, I used to start teaching with the majors and then move to the minors. But of late, I have turned that story around and I start with the minors and then move to the majors. And trust me, it's been radical. So you have the major arcana. So let's just quickly go through what information has been presented in the card meanings. Let's look at some random card, the sixes. Okay, the 6 of Wands and 6 of Cups, yeah. Well, okay, you have the picture of the card, you have the keywords, you have the meaning, and then you have the reverse meaning. Yay, full marks. Right? Reverse meanings, always, right? Then, okay, we have the major arcana, again the same, the picture of the card, the keywords, a little write-up, the significance of that particular card, and then, the meanings, and the message of the High Priest, because this is the High Priest or Hierophant card, and of course reversed keywords and reverse meanings. So there's a whole lot in here, right, in terms of the major arcana as well. And they, the story that we saw earlier, the story of Ceridwen and Taliesin, I believe, this, as we go deeper into the majors, that story is sort of more, they talk a little bit more about it. And some of the names are different, obviously, to sort of, match with the story. So Judgment becomes Rebirth. That's pretty interesting there. And World. And then how to use the cards, some rituals and stuff. Pretty interesting. How to use the cards for divination. This was pretty decent back in the day for me. Then interpreting, reverse cards, and then one spread, another spread, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, like it's like the Celtic cross is now the chalice and the wand spread. Right, 6. And then some sample readings for each of the spreads, I believe. A couple of the spreads anyhow. Oh, that's it. But this book is really detailed, really thorough. And well, as a beginner, you can pick up this deck because this book really will tell you a lot. But if you are not aware of a lot of the pagan, Wiccan and Druidic symbolism, then it's got a learning curve for sure. Now let's take a quick look at the small book. I haven't seen this. Oh, hang on. Sorry. I haven't really gone through the small book, but let's see. Seems to me, how many pages does this one have? 80 pages. Seems to me this one also has, I don't know if you guys have noticed, it seems like it has the same sort of information, maybe in a smaller font. But again, just the card meanings, you just have a meaning and a reversed meaning. You don't have much of a write-up there. Okay, that's interesting. And what happens with the majors? We have some write-up. Okay, so you have the message, keywords, meanings, reversed keywords, and reversed message. So not a lot of write up there for you, not a lot of information there for you. It's just you've got your keywords, you've got your meanings, and you know, we have the spreads. On. We have the hexagram spread. That's it, just one sample spread. Okay, whereas this big book had at least 4 or 5 different spreads, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that's okay. That's okay too. Like if you don't want, if you are thoroughly like into this pagan and druidic lore, then you probably don't need to read the story. Then you could probably just get this small one, right? Or if you already have the big one like me, and then you just want a new deck because you've really used the old deck, then you can get the small deck, right? Okay, so I'm gonna put the books aside, and yeah, let's come back to this story. What happened was, like I said, about 40 odd years ago, I ended up getting this deck. It was too big for me. Got the card back, right? It's totally reversible and everything. But the cards were beautiful, but big for my hands. So after a little bit, I put it aside. Recently, I was chatting with a friend of mine, and like when two tarot friends start talking, you can imagine we were talking for hours. So Julie and I were just chatting, and we ended up talking about the DruidCraft deck. And Julie showed me some pictures of how she has sort of modified a few of her decks, and she's edged it and everything. And I just fell in love, and I was like, Julie, I have avoided playing with the DruidCraft tarot simply because it is too big for my hands. If I was shuffling it, the edges would sort of cut into my hands. And so what we ended up doing is I ordered a brand new deck off of Amazon, had it sent directly to her, where she modified it. She got the borders and everything off, and we played with having the name on there for a little bit and then not having it, and we saw how it looked like. And anyhow, the point is she cut off all these borders, and then she trimmed it and edged it, and it's become so amazing. So I introduce to you, ta-da! See, now this deck so much. If I just do for comparison, let me just take it out of the box. Right, there you go. A whole bunch of stuff from the side has gone, but look, borderless deck. And the best part, I don't know if you can see it, it's sort of edged golden. Isn't that pretty? My goodness. I just fell in love. And guys, if you want to also do something like this, not just for your DruidCraft deck, but for any deck, then I will leave her email in the comment, in the video description, and you can reach out to Julie and figure it out. She is amazing. She will work with you every step of the way. She will, we'll play around with, because that's what we did at first. She just, removed this much, and we saw, we just had the name and the card image, and we're like, yeah, okay, maybe that name can go, because initially I wanted the name, but then we were like, okay, do you want the border? We got that border out, and my goodness, the look at the stark difference. So I'm gonna do like a side-by-side comparison of all the cards, and and I do believe you guys will fall in love with this deck, the borderless version, and you can totally reach out to Julie. And if you have any other decks that you want done, I would say just get in touch with her, and she will do a fantabulous job. Mwah. Okay, let me just move the camera a little closer, and we'll get going. All right, so here we are. The only downside of having the borders taken off of the DruidCraft, as you will notice, is what happens with the card back, because this central image that they have here has been sort of created so it's for the big card, and now here it just moves a little bit, it's not centered anymore. But it's okay. It's okay. This is something I can live with. I just wish they come up with a borderless edition on their own, but I guess. All right. So these are the card backs. Totally reversible, except here, but it's okay. I can live with that. The images are so stunning, right? It's like the beauty of those images just suddenly comes out. Of course, I think also that if you notice, the colors are a little bit sort of more brighter, more colorful in the new version. So there's a marked difference, as you can tell. But even then, my goodness. Okay, so that's your Fool card. Magician. High Priestess. Court. Empress. Or the Lady. Emperor or the Lord. The High Priest or the Hierophant. Or, you know what I mean. I mean, look at the difference the brighter colors are making, right? Here it's a little lighter, here it's more colorful, but now that sun becomes a little more, I don't know, stands out. I like both, to be fair. This is like my old love and a new love. Ooh, the lovers. Gosh. Chariot. I love it when the chariot is described, they show her as a woman. I believe another deck does that. Could that be the Morgan Greer, where the chariot card is a woman, the character on the chariot card is a woman? Love it. Oof, strength. Look at that. Oof. For the longest time, I wanted something like this ornament that she's wearing. Do you see this? She's wearing over here. For the longest time, I was like, I want something like that. I can wear it, when I wear a dress. How pretty will that look? Oh gosh, yes, the Hermit. All the cards in this deck, my goodness. This deck is great for meditating and sort of doing the entering the tarot card visualizations. My goodness. The images just draw you right in. The wheel. Just love. Hanged Man. Death. Okay. Now, this is a Temperance, and I have no idea how to say this word. Sorry. I don't know how to pronounce it. If someone can help me, phonetically or otherwise, in the comments, how to pronounce this word, I would super duper appreciate it. But see, that's the thing. If I didn't have, like, if I was a total newcomer and I looked at both these cards, it would be a tad bit confusing. Except you really have to notice she's got these two, I think this is a bowl and something that she's like a bottle, and so that's the whole. If you're looking for the Rider-Waite similarity, there's the rainbow also. So you really have to look closely. It's not quickly, because I say this because back in the day I used to get a little, I used to not look at the names. I used to just quickly look at the images, and it was It took me a second to be like, oh, this is not the death card, this is a temperance card. All right, okay. Maybe it's just me. Look at that. The devil card is called Cernunnos. So same two characters from the lovers card, but now they have this guy there. One of the few cards or few decks where I just that even the tower card is breathtaking. Breathtaking, I tell you. Star. And of course, the moon card. Oh, sun. And the judgment card is called rebirth. And the world card. All right. Ace of Wands. Two of Wands. Three of So beautiful. Five of Wands. So very different from the Rider-Waite-Smith energy of the Eight of Wands. Very similar to the Seven of Wands as well to some extent. But you see now the story is getting continued here, so it's pretty interesting. Now, these court cards are gorgeous, I tell you. Gorgeous. Princess of Wands. Prince or Knight. Oh, Queen of Wands. Look at that. And King of Wands. Handsome fellow. Okay. Do this. Now, oh yeah. Oh wait. Sorry. The card was reversed. I was wondering, like, did they change? No. Card was reversed. Okay. So this is the Ace of Cups. I love it. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And somehow I think in the borderless version it just becomes more potent, the images. That's what I think. It's fantastic. Two of Cups. So that's why I wanted to have a side by side. I'm like, you guys can look at the images and decide for yourselves if you like this better or that better, but I'm just saying these are somehow more gorgeous. Oh, look at that Five of Cups. It's a very interesting Seven of Cups. But this this Eight of Cups is, again, breathtaking. Somehow in some cards, the imagery just grabs you, right? Huh. Or at least for me anyhow. You may have different cards where the imagery grabs you, right? With the cards, some images just hit different people differently. So That's okay. That's how the tarot works. I love it. Oh, the Princess of Cups. You gotta love this, right? I love her. I love all the images of this deck actually. Prince or Knight. Ooh, the Queen of Cups. Oh. And King of Cups. Ace of Swords. Just can't get over the gorgeousness of this deck, right? Two of Swords. Oh, Six of Swords. Here in this deck, Seven of Swords is all about strategy, isn't it? More than trickery. It could be tricky strategy as well. Ooh, Eight of Gosh. Lovely Princess of Swords. Prince. Ah, Pentacle. This Five of Pentacles card is also pretty gorgeous, isn't it? Because most Five of Pentacles cards are, scary, bleak, and hard to sort of swallow. But this one, I mean, the art is just gorgeous. It's just. Oh, beautiful. Nine of Pentacles. And 10. Cute. Princess of Pentacles. Oh, flower. Queen of Pentacles. And finally, the King of Pentacles. Whoa! So, see how big this is, like in my hand. It's so hard to just grasp and hold it, and much less shuffle it. It was tough to do that. But now this one. So thanks to Julie and her beautiful, work of. Can you see how beautiful it is? How she's done that? It's amazing. So thanks to Julie, and because I was super scared of it. I was like, oh my god, what if I mess up? But Julie did such a beautiful and thorough job for me. So I have now these two gorgeous decks, one to just look at and admire, and one to actually play with and admire. And I'm so happy. And yeah, so this was my little sort of flip through of the DruidCraft tarot deck. I hope you liked it, and I hope you also want to get your decks modified by Julie, because I know there are a few decks of my own that I would like to get modified. Mm. So just reach out to her and ask her, and she'll be very happy to do that. So tell me what you think of this, this deck. What your experiences with it? What are your, thoughts about it, and so forth? And put it in the comment section, and I will be happy, happy, happy to, have a conversation with you guys about it. And again, thank you for watching this video, and please hit the like button if you liked it. Please share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you again in my next video. Until then, stay good, be good, and play with your cards. Bye now.